Dear friends, have you ever wondered if Won Buddhism talks about love? Years ago, after a Won Buddhism introductory class, one person was very upset, saying, "In the entire class, I have not heard the one word I was looking for." Then she left abruptly. For a while, I wondered what that one word was. Then eventually I was able to guess. The word she was looking for was love. If you visit the One Scripture webpage and type the word love into the search engine, you will find that it appears about 50 times throughout the various parts of the text. But there is no passage that describes what love really means in Won Buddhism. Does this mean that the concept of love is not important in Won Buddhism? What do you think? My answer is that love is indeed a very important concept in Won Buddhism. Although the word is not used often, it is expressed through the teachings of grace and loving compassion. Today, I would like to introduce a passage from one Buddhist scripture about loving kindness and compassion. In verse 3 of the chapter on Buddhahood, the founding master said, "Great loving kindness is like the love parents naturally feel for an innocent child who is healthy, happy, and gentle in temperament, giving no trouble to its parents. When such a child's words and actions are calm and well-mannered and bring ease rather than worry, the parents' hearts are filled with joy and tender affection, and their love deepens even more. In the same way, when looking upon all sentient beings, Buddhas rejoice when they see people with gentle temperaments. Buddhas delight in those who are loyal to their communities, devoted to their parents, caring toward siblings, respectful to teachers, and harmonious with neighbors. A Buddha is moved by those who help the poor, care for the sick, and sincerely practice the Great Way. When Buddhas see people growing in the wisdom of prajna and acting with the minds free from attachment, they feel inner gladness. Seeing people accumulate pure and undefiled merit, Buddha's hearts are filled with a pure joy and affection." Sotaesan continued, "Great compassion is like the feeling parents experience when their child accidentally hurts themselves by poking a finger into their eye or grabbing the sharp edge of a knife, or when their child cries and throws a tantrum for unknown reasons. Seeing this, the parents' hearts fill with great sympathy and tenderness, and they are moved to protect, comfort, and guide the child. In the same way, when the Buddhas deeply observe sentient beings entangled in greed, hatred, and delusion, they see how people bring suffering to their minds and harm to their bodies, leading to painful destinies and difficult consequences. In their confusion, people often blame heaven and earth, parents, other people, and society for their suffering. Seeing this, Buddhas feel deep sorrow and pity. With a great patience and care, they seek to guide sentient beings toward wisdom and freedom, employing countless skillful means. Such is the great loving kindness and great compassion of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. End quote. It was a long passage. Dear friends, what do you think of this passage? I appreciate the example of a parent's feelings toward their children. A parent's relationship with a child is an intimate and universally understood human experience. This passage shows us that loving kindness and compassion have two faces, joy and sorrow. Yet, this joy and sorrow are not superficial emotions, but enduring expressions of a deeply awakened heart. From the hearts of loving kindness and compassion, we rejoice in goodness and well-being of all living beings. And our hearts become tender and ache from the suffering of others. This is the expression of love in Won Buddhism. When our beloved ones are happy, we are happy. When our beloved ones develop sound and healthy living, our hearts are filled with joy. When I hear my younger brother in Korea plays badminton after his work 4 days a week, I am happy. I have been concerned about his health since my college years. Is anyone here a caretaker for elderly parents, grandparents, or other family members? See hands? Yeah. When you see them making an effort to improve their diet and daily habits to stay healthy, doesn't it fill your heart with joy and gratitude? When our children, family, and friends unfold their fullest potential, we cheer them on with great joy. When your child graduates from high school or college, are you happy? When a friend is promoted at work, are you happy? Yes. We cheer for accomplishments, not only for our family and friends, but also for anyone in our temple communities and beyond. When our nation and our world change for the better, we rejoice in humanity's growth and evolution. This sense of joy and celebration arises from the energy of loving kindness. As Sotae-san reminded us, one of the greatest joys we human beings experience is the joy parents feel for their children. Children are precious and lovable, just as they are. Aren't they so cute? When you see your child happy and healthy, what a profound joy that is. With a gentle temperament, your child is kind to others and brings no trouble. When a child absorbs calm and well-mannered words and actions from home or from the temple, how happy we feel. Just like parents experiencing tremendous joy from their children, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and our Dharma teachers embrace deep, deep joy as we grow spiritually. They rejoice as we manifest gentle, kind temperaments, harmony with one another, serving others with selfless minds, cultivating minds free from attachment, growing in the wisdom of prajna. So let us remember that true joy and happiness arise from our loving and caring hearts. The second aspect of loving compassion is deep sorrow emanating from empathetic hearts. How heartbreaking it is for parents to see their child suffer. especially when there is little they can do to help ease that suffering. Recently, two friends from Brazil visited our temple. 5 years ago, they lost their 17-year-old son, Rodrigo, in a sudden and tragic way through suicide. One can hardly imagine how devastating this must have been for them. As mother and father, through countless days and sleepless nights, they did all they could to protect, comfort, and guide their son, yet some things were beyond their power. If we could gather all the tears shed by parents throughout the world, they would surely fill rivers. In our temple garden, we planted a tree dedicated to Rodrigo. Whenever I stand next to Rodrigo's tree, I think of his pure spirit and the eternal loving compassion his parents hold for their son. Like parents toward children, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas deeply observe all sentient beings and our suffering. In order to protect, comfort, and guide, they teach many ways to liberate us from suffering. So they use countless skillful means which are called expedients. At times, Buddhas and teachers offer gentle encouragement. At other times, they use firm guidance, what we might call tough love, expressed through precepts that help guide and support mindful choice and ethical conduct. However, we sentient beings often revert to habitual ways and continue to repeat unwholesome karmic cycles. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel deep sorrow and pity for the painful and difficult consequences deluded beings experience. If we could measure the tears of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they would fill oceans. Just as parents never give up on their children, a Buddha's care embraces both the virtuous and the deluded. Like a parent, a Buddha's love is unconditional, patient, and tirelessly devoted, liberating all beings from suffering. Love in Buddhism then encompasses both joy and sorrow. Between joy and sorrow, there is no dichotomy. They are inseparable aspects of the same caring heart. When our joy expands beyond our small circles, and our sorrow becomes wide enough to embrace the world, we recognize the two faces of loving compassion when we look in the mirror. May we all live from our innate capacity for boundless love.